Hi, everyone. Welcome to Hallmark Movie Drafts, where our three guest panelists this month are Hallmark movie enthusiasts and Deck the Hallmark podcast double-deckers who love to rate, rank, and debate all things Hallmark movies related. It's November. Autumn is our favorite time of year. So, of course, these panelists will be working with and against one another to create the definitive singular list of the 10 best Hallmark movies starring Autumn Reeser. See what I did there? Woo. So I'm Lynn, your host, and with me as always is my co-host, Erin Beth. And joining us today as guest co-host is Jackie. Jackie, welcome.
Hi.
In beautiful southern part of the East Coast, right? So Jackie, you're going to be drafting on a panel in 2024. So being a guest host is a perfect way to get your Hallmark movie drafts feet wet. Was it hard for you to come up with your 10 best personal list?
It was kind of hard because this morning I was changing around some. My top four have pretty much remained the same after I saw them, but the bottom part and then where did I want 1 and 2? So it was hard, but I knew what needed to be in the top 10. So let's just put it that way.
Well, as a guest co-host, you're just up against Erin, Beth, and I, and there are no stakes. We are stake-free. We are meatless. So, but it's always good to have the bragging rights. So good luck. Good luck. Erin, Beth, I was really surprised at how many of Autumn's 15 movies I actually hadn't seen before. There were 4 that I hadn't watched before. Erin, Beth, had you seen all 15 before?
I hadn't. There were 2 that I actually had never even heard of before. So it was fun to watch movies that I have never watched for a draft. That was really nice. Instead of rewatching the same ones over and over again.
Oh yeah, Adam. Yeah, exactly. I see that you're drinking something. What is it that you have in your pretty little, is that a champagne glass?
Yes, it's a champagne glass. It's the 27-hour day. It's the energy mocktail, which is one of the drinks that you can find on our Instagram page.
Yeah, great. Yeah, I'm drinking the a Glenbook cocktail. It's like the bourbon-based one with orange. So yeah, you can find that on Instagram. In the show notes, listeners, you're going to see links to the Hallmark Movies Draft Instagram page, the Letterboxd account, where you can see all of the past movie lists that were drafted, as well as the eligibility list. So there's really a great resource library there. And then the newly launched Spotify playlist that has all of the songs, it's like more than 70, shoot me, that are used in the Instagram account. So lots of good stuff, and you'll see it all in the show notes, and you'll find it on the Instagram page as well. So enough about that. Let's get to today's panelists. I'm so excited about this panel because there are 2 returning players who are truly masterful drafters, and I've put them together on the same panel for the first time because I think of them as the Danger Twins. And you'll get to meet them in just a moment. And then there's a first-time player who I really believe can hold her own and may have a few moves up her sleeves. And in fact, when we introduce her, I definitely have to call out on what she's using as her screen background on Zoom, because I'm absolutely dying. So they've had a couple of months now to review all of Autumn's 15 movies that were eligible for this draft. They've ranked them 10th to 1st for their personal list, and they're going to battle it out to create the ultimate list of 10 best, with the goal of getting as many of their personal favorites onto the final list, ideally in the order that they have them ranked on. So first up is Jen. Jen, welcome back. You've drafted a couple of times and you always bring the gameplay. In fact, listeners, so far Jen is the only player to have gotten all 10 of her movies from her personal list onto the final drafted list. That's almost impossible to do. And she did it in the Tyler Hines draft against Bran and Tracy, 2 huge Tyler fans and really strong players. So Jen, how are you feeling today about the Autumn Reeser movies and the list that you've come up with?
I mean, I'm feeling pretty good about it. I feel like I'm more confident in what I did for this list than I was for the Tyler one, because that one I feel like I moved around a lot more than I did this one. So we'll see.
And you're also coming into this draft. Yeah, actually, in that Tyler Hines draft, which is just completely crazy. Not only did you get all 10 of your movies onto the final list, but you kept a veto card left over to use and a veto override card left over to use. I still can't figure out how you managed it because it was such a bonkers draft, but you've got those two cards that you're going to be able to play in this game, in addition to whatever vetoes come with the drafting order that you end up with. So you could be playing with love, or you could be playing with chaos. I can't tell by your facial expression which way that's going to go, but good luck. Good luck. All right. So next up we have Sarah. Sarah, I know how good of a player you are because we were on the same drafting panel for the fake relationships draft, which was so competitive, and some of my favorite sound bites from this whole season of 2023 are your comments and your
I get pretty intense about some things sometimes.
Oh God, oh no, oh no.
You use the term danger twins, and I don't think anyone has ever commented that to me before in my life. So I was like, whoa.
That's in a good way. That's in a good way. You are dangerously good. So speaking of that fake relationship draft, congratulations on your recent engagement, which is not fake at all. Oh my God. How did Roger propose?
It was the sweetest thing. So he has a cute little dog named Hanzo, and one of the things we both love is dogs, like completely. It's kind of ridiculous, and we share that. So when he decided that he wanted to propose, he bought him a little kerchief that says, "Will you marry my dad?" So anyway, we had been watching I don't know, I think The Office or something, and so Roger went down the hall and Hanzo followed him, and then Hanzo came trotting out wearing this cute little bandana, and I was like, oh no, this is yeah. And then Roger came out carrying the ring, and oh, it was wonderful. And it was, I almost cried. It was like, I knew this was the man I'm going to marry, but it was like, whoa, in that moment, it felt like a Hallmark movie.
It really sounds like a Hallmark movie. And we can't wait for your wedding at Bramblefest 2024 when we can all be part of it.
I still have to convince him to do the Bramblefest part, but yes, it's going to happen.
Got the venue, you've got officiants battling it out in the group.
So
you
many
can probably
options.
be notarized. I mean, it's like a one-stop wedding.
One-stop shopping.
All right. Well, I don't think your competitors and colleagues today are going to show you any engagement mercy, but good luck. Good luck. All right. And last but certainly not least is our third panelist, Erin. Erin, welcome.
Thank you.
Erin, Beth and I know you from the Cults, Crimes, and Chardonnay monthly Zoom meetup that we do, and you are the host of the quarterly book club for that group. So I know that you are really well versed in weaving together conversations and picking up nuances of what people say in these discussions. So I'm thinking that you're going to have a really good time drafting. How competitive would you say you are?
Let's just say my family will not play Monopoly with me because I am too competitive. So I'm in it to win it.
And you're already coming in hot
Yeah.
with the Zoom background that we are all laughing at. So tell everybody what it says.
So it's hashtag Autumn deserved better, and then you can't quite see it, but it says hashtag ban the cooking movies. By the time I made it through the list, I could not stand one more cooking movie, no matter how good or bad it may have been. And then overall, just poor Autumn. She was either, a single mom or a lawyer, or she just didn't have much variety in her 15 movies. So she just hashtag deserved better.
All right. Well, we'll see how it goes. That's a great hot take. So good luck. Good luck, everybody.
Thank you.
All right, so let's shift into gameplay mode. If this is your first time listening, you can pause here and listen to the Hallmark Movie Drafts intro show first. That's where I go over the rules in more depth. I talk about the format of the game, how vetoes work, all that kind of good stuff. Or just keep listening, and I'm sure you can pick it up. So eligibility for this draft is really straightforward because it's Hall Star related. So to be eligible, all of the movies had to feature Autumn Reeser in the lead couple storyline. They also had to premiere on Hallmark Movie Channel or Hallmark Movies and Mysteries. So that means that 2 of her Wedding Veil movies where she was in it, but her character Emma wasn't the lead focus in the storyline, those movies aren't eligible. So there's 15 in all. You can see the list on Letterboxd, as I mentioned. You can see it on the Instagram page as well. So let's talk drafting positions for this match. There are 3 of them, A, B, and C. Drafter C picks positions 10, 7, and 3 on the list, and Drafter C gets 1 veto card and 1 veto override card. Drafter B picks positions 9, 6, 4, and 2. Drafter B gets only 1 veto card because this drafter gets 4 picks instead of 3, so they get more chances to get their movies from their personal list onto the final list. And drafter A picks positions 8, 5, and the number 1 position on the list. They get 1 veto card and 1 bonus veto card that works just like a normal veto card does. So as I said earlier, Jen is coming into the match with 1 veto and 1 veto override card that she can use in addition to whatever vetoes come with the drafting position she ends up with. So there's a total max of 4 cards that she can play. So how do we get to decide who gets to be drafter A, B, or C? That's where Erin Beth and Jackie come in. They're going to test your knowledge with a round of trivia questions related to the eligible movies. So the first person to guess 1 answer correctly gets to choose their drafting position. Person who gets the next answer correctly gets to choose theirs. And the last person ends up with whatever they get to. So if you win the trivia round, there's kind of a double-edged sword to that. You will also become first in declaring whether or not you're vetoing a movie for every single round, okay? So that's the way that works. Jackie and Erin Beth, take it away. I've seen the list of questions that you sent, the potential ones, and good luck, guys.
The collaboration on these questions. I mean, Jackie had some really good ones, and she was scared of some of mine. So I think that means good luck is very, very correct. But before we start with the trivia, I do want to go over some rules for how you guys need to play. Number 1, you cannot answer until I have finished asking the question. No jumping in before I have finished speaking. Number 2, as soon as I finished asking the question, just shout out your answer. Number 3, I will tell you if your answer is right or wrong. If you're wrong, you can't guess again until the other 2 drafters have made a guess. If I have to give you a hint or a clue, then anyone can answer. So if you have just guessed incorrectly, then you can guess again right away. Does everyone understand the rules? If you do, then we are going to jump right in with Jackie and the first question.
All right. In Love at the Thanksgiving Day Parade, what is the name of the song Autumn sings karaoke to?
Oh, they're thinking hard. I knew this one was going to be a really good one to start. What'd you say, Sarah?
Poker face?
No.
Oh.
That correct. All right.
I would love to hear Autumn Reeser singing a Lady Gaga song.
That would be
Well,
great.
I want to know if Lady Gaga was even singing when this movie came out.
I know there was a Lady Gaga reference. I wrote it down.
Oh, okay.
It was
Jackie, what was the answer to that?
2012, so
The movie,
Jackie,
the
what
song
the
was,
answer to...
it was Heart of Glass.
Oh, I was hoping you were going to sing.
Oh, no. But I will do for those who are watching on us, for us, I'm going to do a little bit of the Autumn movement. Yes, she sang about as well as I sing, so I will protect the audience here on this, listening to this podcast. You do not want to hear my vocals.
All right, well, we will jump into question number 2. This question is about the movie I Do, I Do, I Do. What language does Autumn learn during her time loops?
Italian.
Oh,
I believe that Sarah started. What did you say? Did you say Italian, Sarah?
Yes, ma'am.
I think Sarah started first. So Sarah, you got that correct, and you will need to start thinking about which drafting position you want to be in while Jen and Aaron battle it out for second place. Jackie, you want to go ahead with the next question?
All right. In the movie, The 27-Hour Day, Autumn's character is in awe of Barbara Devron, or Devron, whatever her name is. What is the name of her book that she loved, that Autumn's character loves?
I always love to see the looks in the eyes after the
I
questions
know.
are read. And Sarah just smiling because she knows she doesn't have to answer.
I don't know it.
Yeah, I don't
Would
either.
you, would a hint help, or would you like us to move to the next question?
I'm not sure.
Let's try
We
it.
will-
Why not?
We will move to the next question.
Okay.
All right, this question is about Bramble House Christmas. What is the name of the main character in the book David Hayden Jones writes with Autumn's son?
I have never heard so much
Wow.
quiet in the trivia round.
It is
I
like
literally am like,
dead. Okay, I will give a hint for this one.
I-
It is about her son. All right, Jackie, why don't you go ahead
Okay.
and ask
All
this
right.
question? The answer
We did
was
watch
Scout.
these movies.
Yes.
I did
The
watch
answer
these. I was
was
just gonna say I
watch
did
them
watch
all.
these.
All
Yes.
right, let's try another one. In the movie All Summer Long, what is the name of the boat Autumn captains?
Yellowphone Pacific. Pacific Yellowfin.
Very good, Aaron.
Very good.
Yay. Aaron got that. So, Aaron, you will be picking second to decide what drafting position you want after Sarah picks hers, and then Jen, you get what is left over. So take it
Good
away.
job, you guys. Aaron,
Yeah.
Aaron, Beth, and Jackie. Those were some tough questions. You did a really good job. I saw the whole list. There were a ton more questions, you guys. So I'm surprised that you only needed 4 or 5 to get through it.
I'm
So
disappointed there were no wig questions. I was waiting for that.
I lost count of how many wigs.
Oh my gosh, you guys. Can we all just agree that Autumn Reeser in her movies has the best high up ponytail ever, whether it's a
Yeah.
wig or not?
Mhm.
I'm trying, but it's
Yeah.
not working. It's not working. All right, Sarah, what are you thinking? Do you need me to read the positions again, or are you sure
No.
you know what you want?
No, I'm gonna go with position A. There's not a world where Jen needs another 2 vetoes. Sorry, but I'm taking that one.
So Sarah will be drafter A. She gets positions 8, 5, and the number 1, and she gets the 2 vetoes. So good gameplay there. Smart move. Erin, do you want to be drafter B or drafter C?
I'll take B, please.
Okay, great. Erin is going to be drafter B. She'll be second up in the veto order. So Erin will get 4 picks, 9, 6, 4, and 2, and she gets only 1 veto card. So she will use that wisely or not. We will see what happens. Or not, I mean, she won't use it at all. I don't mean she'll use it badly.
Oh, it could be badly. We'll see.
We don't pick shame and we don't veto shame here. So you're all set. And then Jen will get drafter C. So she gets picks 10, 7, and 3. She gets 1 veto and 1 veto override card with that position. And she's also coming in with 1 veto and 1 veto override card as well. So basically she gets 2 vetoes and she gets 2 veto override cards. Way to go. This is going to be tough. It's going to be a great, interesting match. All right. So let's get to it. You know that you will send me your pick titles as a DM in the chat. And then I'll read the title and say a little something about the movie, and then you get to state your case. So good luck, everybody. Sarah, I'm going to send it on over to you. Go ahead and DM me whenever
No, I don't get
No.
to.
you're ready.
It's me.
Nope.
I have 10.
Oh,
right?
I'm
Yeah.
so sorry. Yes, you're
I
absolutely
was
right.
like-
See, what did I say at the beginning of the show before I started recording? Do not hesitate to correct me, because I will make 3 million mistakes throughout this whole thing. Thank you, Erin. All right, Erin's going to kick off the list.
Nope.
No,
Still
it's still
Jen.
Jen is
gonna be
going to
Jen.
kick off the list. All right, I might need to do some editing here.
Okay, how much of that drink have you already had?
She tried each and every one of them.
Before
we
this
literally
podcast
did.
started, I'm sure.
I
She says
literally
Jackie.
did try.
Jackie said
each
you're
and every
number
one of
10.
them, but not the same day.
Do you want to start it again? Then cut that part
We
out.
can go back to the questions and maybe pick the order a little differently.
Let
We're
me
going
do
to
this
ask
again.
the same questions over again and see if you
That'd be
guys
fun.
get them this time.
Okay, so this is a great round. Good luck, everybody. Let's
Yeah.
get this started. Jen is going to kick off the list with her pick for number 10. So go ahead and send it to me when you're ready. Oh my goodness. Jen, who I always knew was going to be kicking off the list for us, has sent over a pick for a movie from 2017. It stars Autumn as Willa. David Hayden Jones is Finn. It's a Bramble House Christmas. Finn Conrad becomes suspicious as to why his father left a nurse named Willa $100,000. Meanwhile, Willa is excited to take her daughter Scout away to Bramble House for Christmas, but doesn't know that her benefactor, Finn's father, the man who she had been a nurse to, has left her quite the inheritance in his will. Finn and his sister Molly are convinced Willa has swindled their father. Willa and Finn cross paths while Finn is undercover trying to prove Willa conned his dad. They start to develop feelings for one another, but when she discovers Finn's true identity, will it keep her from ever trusting him again? Jen, why do you like A Bramble House Christmas for the 10th ranking?
So I will say that part of my liking of this movie comes from the Deck the Hallmark episode, because it makes me laugh. It is what spawned the Bramble Jam moniker. Like I chuckle every time I see it. It's also my like patron of the week or double decker episode, which also makes me laugh. So I have a slight fondness of this movie because of that episode. That being said, it would likely have been higher on my list if he wasn't so shady in what he does. Like, he lies, he takes her son around. Like, first of all, she trusts him with her son, which that in itself is a whole red flag. There's a lot of what is going on with this, but I do still enjoy it. I like my god, Terrell Rothery in it. I think she's funny as this cranky inn owner that doesn't want any help, and I like that part of the storyline. It's the lying and the sister and all of that was a little bit kind of bonkers to me. So, also, fun fact, did you know that the sister is Peter Benson's wife? I discovered that while I was doing my cast research.
No.
But yeah.
Wow.
Yep. So I was like, oh, interesting. But anyway, that I like it. It's like I said, it would have been higher if it didn't have that whole you're lying, you're spending time with her kid, it's a stranger, what the heck?
I didn't know that was your that was Panda's double decker of the week for you movie. That is so
My
cool.
Swiss Miss Jen Bliss episode. Yep.
That's awesome. All right, Swiss Miss. Let's see if Sarah is equally charmed and supportive of your pick. Sarah, you were first up in the veto round. How do you feel about A Bramble House Christmas at number 10?
Well, it's much higher on my list. But I think what I actually wrote for my note was, this is a decent one top 10 for sure, maybe top 5. So as long as it's on the top 10 list, I think I'm fine. I think I've only got like my top 3 and bottom 3 are I'm married to, and the rest of it can move up and down. And I agree, like I literally said sneaky Sneakerton because he was just so sketchy. And I did not understand, like the sister went from being like, hey, we should just be nice, to like full-blown bitch mode. Like what happened? Like, did she stop taking her meds? Like, I was very confused, and she came in hot. Now it was just a little like, wow, like where did you come from? So, but yeah, so I'm fine. I'm not gonna veto it.
I'm not going to veto. You're going to let it ride. Okay, Erin. So I don't believe there's any cooking in this movie. So hashtag
True.
Autumn deserved better. How do you feel about A Bramble House Christmas at number 10?
I am great with this. I didn't really care for the movie for all the same reasons that Jen and Sarah have said. I thought the male character was just abysmal, the way that he was deceiving her and trying to use her her very generous heart and her caring spirit to really get to know her. My notes just say how much he just deceived her the entire time, and then how somehow she became the bad person when she didn't forgive him. I didn't even really want to have it on the list, but I figured that we all would, just because of our ties to Bramble Jam. That was kind of like the thing that kept tethering me back to it. So I'm perfect with it being at the bottom of the list.
I think too, like for me, like there were others I disliked more, and that's also what moved it up. And like that's just the nature of like what when you're making that list, like something's gonna end up at 10.
Exactly, especially when you only have 15 to choose from. So I'm sure the top 3 are going to the gloves will come off. But right now, Jen, you got a lot of love and support from your fellow drafters. So a Bramble House Christmas is locked in at number 10. Erin, you can make your first pick at number 9. You can DM that to me. And while she's doing that, Jackie, what do you like a Bramble House Christmas?
I had kind of all the exact same things. I will say that there were some elements there that was very Christmassy. I loved kind of the end with the Christmas gazebo tree, whatever there was there. So it gave me some good warm fuzzies. But again, I think for me, it was very much the Bramble tie-in that really made it a fun movie for me. I didn't get the whole like I injured my leg this way, I injured my leg that way, and I'm a guest at your B&B, but let me take over and decorate for you. I just didn't get all that.
And now you're gonna run it with me.
Exactly. I've known you for 3 days, but I'm going to let you help take over my inn.
Sounds totally realistic to me.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Okay, I have Erin's pick already. She was very fast, very decisive. There was no hesitation. Erin has chosen a movie from 2022. Autumn Reeser is Elizabeth. Tyler is Ben. It is Always Amore. Restaurateur Elizabeth is forced to work with Ben, a professional restaurant consultant, to keep her late husband's Italian restaurant afloat. But as they get closer, she realizes that not all change is bad and might even open her heart to new love. This was on Hallmark Movies and Mysteries channel in 2022. Erin, why did you choose this for number 9?
So even though I do think that she deserves better with all the cooking movies, there is 4 out of 15. So some cooking movie has to make the list at some point. I do feel this was the best one. I really enjoyed Tyler Hines. I thought that even though the storyline, it was very, I mean, it was obviously very dear to their heart to have to come in and have these, recipes changed, their restaurant changed. I really felt Tyler handled it with a lot of grace and compassion, and I appreciated that. I also just thought that the ensemble cast and, as a total was great. So really that's kind of why. And I also kind of had a note here that A Season for Love and Love on the Menu had a baby, and the baby is this movie. So
It's so accurate.
It's Tyler's hair in this one that just doesn't work for me. I don't know why. And it's not fair to judge a movie by its hair, even though we've all been talking about Autumn Reeser's wigs. That's fine. So Sarah, how do you feel about Always Amore at number
Well,
9?
again, this was a little higher on my list, but again, I don't care as long as it's on there. I wrote it's not as awful as some of hers, so and I have to say, I watched this one with Roger, and his direct quote was, "Everyone is whiny shitheads." And I again was like, he's not wrong. Like, there was a lot of babysitting that had to happen. Tyler had to come in and literally massage everybody's feelings to make sure they were all okay all the time. And it was like, he did a very good job babysitting. I would trust that man with children. Like, he knows how to talk them down off the cliff constantly. So, I mean, it was fine. And yeah, so yes, it's on the list, and that's as far as I can handle. Like, yay us.
I saw Whiny Shitheads live, and can I just tell you, to get them to finish a song, all the constant stopping and complaining, it was unbelievable. Unbelievable. So I stand with Roger. All right. Jen, what do you think
Lynn.
about Always Amore? Because you did the
You know
Tyler
how I
Hines
feel
draft,
about this movie.
and this movie did not make the top 10 list for the
I
Tyler
hate this
Hines draft.
movie. I actively hate this movie. I watched it twice and refused to watch it a third time for this one. You know that.
Me
I
too.
hate-
You
I
actually
hate
told
this
me
movie.
that when the list came out. You're like, I'm not going to do
I'm
this.
not going to. I said I'm not going to watch it again. Like, I cannot. I don't know what it is about this movie. I do not like it. And I don't think it's his hair. My notes literally say I've now watched this one twice and I still don't really like it. That's literally all I wrote.
Well,
I
you
just
have
cannot.
2 vetoes.
I
in your
know.
pocket.
And it's not on my, obviously, on my top 10. So I don't know, because the thing is, I leave it and then something that is on my top 10 doesn't get in.
Yeah. Or it can be played again higher up.
Or it can be played again higher up. Yep.
I've been known to
Always
do that a
Amore,
time or two.
number 1. Oh wait, you
My
have
God, I
number.
would riot.
Oh no, Sarah has number 1.
I enjoy using that position as power move. It's super helpful.
It is. Sarah's like, give me what I want, or Always Amore.
And Sarah was speaking to me in Italian before the recording started, so I wouldn't put it past her. What do you think, Jen? You're gonna let
There's
it ride?
there's other Italian movies you could put instead. How about that?
So true.
I might need to veto it because I really don't like this movie.
Is that a yes? Is that a
Yep,
veto?
I'm gonna veto it.
All right. The first veto has been cast by Jen at number 9. Always Amore comes off of the list at number 9. It can be played again by anyone else, by anyone, period. Further up the list, it just can't stay in that number 9 position. So Erin, go ahead and send me your pick, your replacement pick for number 9. Erin, Beth, I think, did you like Always Amore? I can't remember.
I did not like it the first time I watched it, but when I rewatched it for the Tyler Hines draft, I did. Like, I was like, well, this is an okay movie. It wasn't, it did make my list of at that exact spot, number 9. But I when I rewatched it again, it felt the same. Like, it was like, it's an okay movie. It's not the best from either one of them, but I didn't want to kill myself for watching it.
Yeah. And by the way, like one of the theme drinks for this draft is called Always Amaretto, something like that. It's on the Instagram. So have one of those, watch the movie again. It'll be fine. It'll all be fine.
The
All right.
only way I would watch it again is if I had numerous drinks. Let's put it that way.
I was gonna say, maybe you should drink a little, Jen, and then watch it again.
You should watch it. All right, I have Erin's replacement pick for number 9. It's a movie from 2016. Eric Johnson is Ben. Autumn is Julia. It's Valentine Ever After. Chicago socialite besties Julia and Sydney head off on a road trip and end up having a car accident on a back road in rural Wyoming. They're rescued by Ben, a cute cowboy on horse, who offers to put them up for a night at his family's ranch while their car is being repaired. Naturally, the 3 of them head out to a local bar where Ben with Ben, where a bar fight ensues, properties gets damaged accidentally, and the out-of-town city girls are forced to serve 30 days of community service, which ultimately ends up being at Ben's family ranch. Gavin is Julia's city slicker fiance, and he shows up at the ranch as Julia and Ben are developing feelings for one another. #awkward. There are a lot of thirsty single cowgirls, a cowboy auction as a fundraiser, life lessons are learned, life goals shift, and the town's population increases by 1. And note, Hall star Dylan Neal actually co-wrote this script. So a lot going on in Valentine Ever After. Tell us why you chose this for number 9, Erin.
Sure. So I will fully admit this movie is kind of bonkers new. The whole storyline is absurd, being stuck in a town for 30 days, like they're being held hostage. I get it. However, I did think that the cast was good. I really enjoyed Eric Johnson as the lead. I felt him and Autumn did have some good chemistry. I enjoyed the auction at the end where all the family kind of pulled together to like really help them be able to have their dance, and that was great. It also had Jocelyn from Schitt's Creek in it, which I enjoyed that. And then there was a line in the movie that actually got me to laugh out loud, and it was when they're stranded at the very beginning and there's no service, and the friend says, "Is that even legal to leave us here without service?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, you're in the middle of nowhere." So it did just kind of hit me in the feels a little bit with the funnies. It wasn't great, but knowing what else is to come, I feel like bottom of the list is kind of where this movie belongs.
Bottom of the list is where Erin is placing this at number 9. Sarah, where does Valentine Ever After fall in your list or in your heart, if anywhere?
Well, it was number 10 on my list. I watched this one with my mom. So I did some quotes because it was brilliant. That with the things she said. She said, "We're 2/3 of the way through and there's still no storyline." What's the storyline? I'm serious. And then she said, "If I really cared, I'd listen closely."
I really cared to listen closely.
We weren't a huge fan of it, but it was fine. We just didn't know how many plot lines there were going. Like there was so much happening with that it was wild. So yes, Bonkers Nunu for sure. But it was on that number 10, so I'm fine with it at number 9.
Sarah's okay with it at number 9. Jen, what about you? Were you okay with this at number 9?
Yeah, so it is higher on my list. I don't know what it is about this movie. I've watched it more than once. I enjoy it. It is bonkers. The friend irritated me more this last time than she has in the past. Like, I don't know why they make her so dumb. Like, they make her extra dumb. Like, it's unnecessary.
But she's a hell of a fundraiser.
Everything that comes out of her mouth is like, I'm like, this is unnecessary. Like, really? But I do like enjoy it. So I'm fine with it being where it's at. Like I said, it was higher on mine, but that's okay.
All right, Erin, congratulations. You have locked in your movie Valentine Ever After at number 9. So that brings us to Sarah to send me her first pick for number 8. And I confess, I love Valentine Ever After. It is totally bonkers, but there is so much going on and it's hilarious. Jackie, do you like Valentine Ever After?
I really like Valentine Ever After. I had forgotten how much I like it. I love how Eric Johnson looks at her. There's adult dialogue. There's growth. Yeah, she gets pulled into zany things with the friend. And the fiance says, "I pick winners," while he's proposing with a mariachi band playing. It's a little crazy. But between Autumn's character and Eric Johnson's character, I feel like the friendship and then the eventual romance really blooming. And so I really liked it.
Yeah, this is one of the movies that I had never seen before, and I absolutely loved it. Was this one of the movies you had never seen before, Erin Beth? Or had you?
Yeah, I hadn't seen it before either. And the very first line in my notes is Eric Johnson makes a mighty fine cowboy. When he can ride up on that horse.
I like too that she
came on and off my top 10. Like it was a back and forth thing the entire time. Didn't finally land there, but I did like it. It was a fun movie. Bonkers Nunu. Exactly. But fun.
I like too that that she like admits that the reason why she stayed with her fiance is because he helped her through her mother's death. And so like that whole like growth like arc I found was nice. Again, I understand it's crazy, but I do enjoy it and I have seen it more than once.
All right. I have Jen's pick for number 8.
Well,
It's a
still
movie from
Sarah.
20.
Sarah's,
You have Sarah's pick.
yes, Sarah's pick.
Oh my God. You know?
Jen and I could be twins. We're the danger twins, and she can't tell us apart, Jen.
It's true. Even on my sheet.
You guys look exactly alike.
Identical.
You do look exactly alike. And you're also a little blurry. So
Sarah,
many
it's the
Christmas
New
is that?
England. It's New England. She's
yeah,
just
it's the
lumping
fog
this, like-
here in New England. Exactly. All right. So I have actually Sarah's pick, even though I wrote Jen next to it. I have Sarah's pick for number 8. It's a movie from 2020. Autumn is Jessica. Antonio Cupo plays Kyle. It's a Glenbrook Christmas. As Christmas nears, heiress Jessica Morgan seizes what seems like her last chance to experience a relaxed Christmas and heads off to the small town of Glenbrook, Colorado, where her wealthy family was well known. She wants peace and quiet and only to hear the famous church bells ring on Christmas Eve. So, of course, she goes incognito. The church bells ringing on Christmas Eve has been a town tradition for close to a century, and legend has it that making a wish upon hearing them makes wishes come true. Why wouldn't it? Jessica meets a handsome fireman named Kyle who values honesty above all else and who has a disdain for wealthy people. Learning that the church bells must have an expensive repair to ring, something the church in town can't afford, Jessica wants to help facilitate the repair, but will coming clean about her identity impact her developing relationship with Kyle? Sarah, get your name right.
Okay, so
What do you think of this movie at number 8?
it's fine. It's whatever. It's on there. It's really that I hate 5 movies more than the list that I put together. So the biggest takeaway that I had from this movie was that the grandfather and the inn owner looked a lot alike, and my mom was convinced they were the same person. And she said that they had one person for 2 roles because you could pay one salary, so it was just Hallmark getting out of that. But it was fine. Like I remember the Deck the Hallmark podcast episode about this made me laugh really hard because of the bells and how she didn't want to pay for the bells. So watching it anew with that perspective was like, yeah, she's not the best person to not offer to pay for the bells, but at the same time, there are 5 movies I hate more than this movie, so I put it in at number 8.
So there are 5 movies that Sarah hates more than this. This is quite the ringing endorsement. Erin, you are next up in the veto order because this is Sarah's pick. What do you think about A Glenbrook Christmas? I
had it a little bit higher, but it was one of those that kept jumping around on my list. I couldn't quite figure out where I wanted it to land. I didn't love a lot of the things that Sarah was speaking to, the bells, why she wouldn't pay for them. I also didn't really like this whole storyline of the rich versus the poor, and then how upset he got at her when she was just trying to like hide her identity a little bit. So I'm good with it here. I think it should be on the list, but I'm fine with it being number 8.
Okay, Erin's going to let it roll. Jen, how about you? Glenbrook Christmas at number 8.
So it's number 11 on my list. I had high hopes for the pairing between the two of them, and I was kind of disappointed. Like I didn't find it had like a whole ton of chemistry. I found him to be like overacting in it, and it bothered me. And I hate the whole like, he has a problem with like people, previous relationships, but you're gonna lie the whole time and then get mad that he's mad that you're lying when you knew it was a problem, but also he's mad because she's rich. Like it was a lot of like really. But I don't think I want to use a veto on it. I'll leave it.
All right. Okay, Sarah, you have locked in.
We
a
really got
Glenn-
a ringing endorsement for number to put on.
You know,
I
it's
hate other movies more.
yeah. Number
Every single
8 is kind of
explanation
like, you know, wah, wah, wah.
What's on the list?
Number 8's on the list. It's a Glenbrook Christmas. So, Jen, now it's your turn to send me a pick at number 7, please. And while she's doing that, Erin Beth, do you not like a Glenbrook Christmas?
I actually like a Glenbrook Christmas. It's one of the. I think it's a cute little movie. Does have the little poor little rich girl, which I'm not a huge fan of the poor little rich girl. You know, fine line of how it's so hard for her to live her life because people know who she is. But I did like their pairing. And I thought the little man who rented her the house was so cute. He was just like a cute little guy decorating the houses. I liked it. And I watch it. I mean, I'll watch it over and over again.
So this is one of the movies that I hadn't seen before. So my reaction to it was, you know how sometimes you wonder if they did a sequel, like how would this relationship turn out? And I'm thinking there could never be a sequel to this because he hates basically everything that she stands for or that her family stands for. So I'm thinking they're not going to make it very far. But the church bells will sound lovely. So
Beautiful.
I have Jen's pick for number 7, and she's chosen a movie that stars Christopher Russell as Rob and Autumn is Elise. It's Midnight Masquerade from 2014. This movie has Cinderella overtones, but with Christopher Russell in the Cinderella-esque role. So Elise inherits a multi-billion-dollar company. It's a candy company, and she hires the law firm that Christopher Russell, Rob is the character's name, works for, to handle a trademark infringement lawsuit against a rival company. But Rob is such a nice guy, and he's getting bullied at work by his boss, the firm's owner, the 2 sons of the firm's owner. It's starting to sound a little familiar. He becomes smitten with Elise, but when she invites the firm to attend her Halloween masquerade ball, Rob is ordered by his boss to stay at the office and work. But Rob's 12-year-old niece convinces him to go to the ball anyway and dress as a prince. So he does. And a magnificent waltz and magical exchange with the handsome prince has Elise yearning to find out who he is. So cue the pumpkins, cue the fairy godmother. This is Midnight Masquerade. Jen, why do you like this movie at number 7?
First of all, there's no way that child is 12. Just want to throw that out there to start. I'm convinced she's not 12. That's first of all.
Yeah.
I like this one. I think it's fun. I've seen it a couple of times. I enjoy like the 2 of them together. I like that like Damon Runyon is all like, who was also her like, you know, nasty fiance in Valentine Ever After is in it, and he plays an even worse person, which, you know, I wasn't sure was possible. I like that it kind of has like the Cinderella feel to it. I just think it's a fun like one, and I love the doorman like guy, the doorman character. I just think he's like that whole storyline of, well, you know, I was a lawyer and like, you know, let's get this together like thing is fun. I enjoy it. I think it's a fun one, and it was 7 on my list, so I figured I'd go with what that position was.
All good reasons. I'm not sure, was this Christopher Russell's first Hallmark movie? He looks super young. Like everybody
They
looks
both
Baby.
look like
both look like
babies in it.
babies.
Yeah. So I guess, 2014. Yeah, you know what? That's almost 10 years. Math is hard, but we have a math teacher on the panel, Jen. So yeah, technically 9, she's saying. Okay, fine. Technically.
I won't correct you on that one.
Thank you.
But if you call Sarah Jen again, I will correct you.
As I stand by it, Danger Twins, you look exactly alike. I cannot get over it.
Maybe Sarah can try to use one of your vetoes too. Come on, Sarah.
Oh,
No.
I might.
Exactly. So Sarah, you're first up in the veto order. What do you think of Midnight Masquerade at number 7?
I don't think I can do it. Midnight Masquerade was one of the 3 movies I actually actively liked. And I don't think I can handle it at 7 because that means that movies I actively hated might make it into the top 3, and that's a problem. But I actually, yeah, it was one of, I have it like, I hated his haircut. I'm going to be clear. Christopher Russell's haircut was terrible, and I hated that with every fiber of my being. But I actually liked him, and I don't typically like him in his movies. He tends to be just like, he gives just enough snark. I can never tell if he's like just messing with everybody. Like, I can't take him seriously in anything he's in. And this movie, he was a little goofy and charming, and I was like, I like him in this. And I liked Autumn Reeser's character because she was just quirky, and if she plays sad, I just don't like her. So when she plays crazy and happy and, goofy, I liked it. So I don't know if I can handle it at number 7.
What do you think? You've
I
got
have
2
2.
vetoes, right?
Yeah, no,
So-
you know what? I'm knocking this down. Sorry, Jen. Yeah, it's coming back.
All right. Sarah has already said it's going to come back. So I am not going to ask Erin. I'm not going to ask you for your thoughts on it. We'll wait until
Okay.
it comes back and then I'll grab them then. So Sarah, go ahead and Nope. Jen, go ahead and send me your next choice for number 7. Honestly, viewers, you can't see them, but swear to God, I must need glasses because they look nothing alike. Jen is blonde hair, no glasses. Sarah has brownish hair with glasses. It's just my own stupidity. And actually, you can see them. There's a photo of the panelists on the Instagram page. So it's just me. It's just me. Jackie, save me. Save me,
Can I
Jackie.
ask? Can I technically override her? If I
No,
wanted to?
because you can't save your own pick with an
Okay,
override.
that's why I was wondering. Okay.
Yeah, you can only save someone else's pick that you agree with. And that's the only thing you can't do. So while I'm waiting for Jen's replacement pick, let me just do a quick recap. We have A Bramble House Christmas at number 10, Valentine Ever After at number 9, A Glenbrook Christmas at number 8. And Jen is thinking hard about what she's going to send for number 7. And I do have her selection. It's a movie from 2015. It's Sean Roberts, Antonio Cupo, Ali Liebert are all in this movie with Autumn. It's I Do. This is a time loop movie. Autumn basically relives her disastrous wedding day to Peter, that's Antonio Lupo, over and over and over again until she discovers what she really wants in life. Ali Liebert plays her sister. Sean Roberts plays Max, Antonio Cupo's globetrotting brother who comes home for the wedding. This is directed by Ron Oliver. This is basically like a Love at the Thanksgiving Day Parade cast reunion here. Antonio plays the Baxter in this movie after having been her love interest in 2012 at Love at the Thanksgiving Day Parade. Autumn, Antonio, and Ali all worked together in that movie, and that movie was also directed by Ron Oliver. So it really is like this little happy family cast reunion. So Jen, why do you like I Do from 2015 at number 7?
So first off, I will admit this movie is more bonkers than Valentine Ever After. Like, it's off the rocks. It just like, but something about the whole Groundhog Day plot line I really enjoyed. I could have probably done without the brother plot because that plot bothers me, and I think if it wasn't for that part of it, it might have gone up, despite the fact that I do think their chemistry is good. And I love that she's slowly falling in love with him, and he has no idea, but yet somehow at the end he's all in, despite not knowing that they just spent a month together. I love Ali Liebert in it. I think she's super, quirky and fun, and I don't know. There's just something about it I enjoy. I just think it's a fun little. The mother-in-law is crazy. It just, I just enjoy it. I don't know what it is.
I love a time loop Groundhog's Day theme. There's actually going to be I put together a draft on that theme for 2024 in the spring, and this movie is definitely eligible for it. Sarah, you were first up in the veto order. I am dying of curiosity what you think of this as you move into your own wedding planning mode and the mom and giving up everything that you could possibly want for your wedding for the mother-in-law's desires. What do you think of I Do at number 7?
Oh, God damn it. Jen, like, I loved this movie. I genuinely loved this movie. She was bonkers. She was crazy. It was ridiculous. I don't know if I can handle it at number 7. Freaking A, woman.
It was number 6 for me, but you vetoed my number 7, so.
Well, I might be vetoing your number 7 again. Yes, jeez. There's are things that are, I'm like, my top list and my bottom list, they're like everything else in the middle, it's fine. But the top and the bottom, I don't. Yeah, man. No, I'm vetoing. Bring it back. Do it
Sarah
again. Go back and give a better answer.
To save I Do, and bring it back higher up on the list. So Sarah is out of vetoes, and we are still at number 7. Erin is smiling. I don't know if Erin would have vetoed this for you or not. We're going to have to wait until it gets played again to find out what Erin thinks, but she is grinning.
I don't know what I'm thinking, except my gameplay is going to get very difficult.
I think it's funny because Sarah's like, I have a non-negotiable top 3, but I have spot 3. You have no idea who I'm going to put in that if these ones were in your top.
5 and 1. I don't know what to tell you.
All right, Jen, you are still at bat here for number 7. I do come.
I'm gonna pull a brand and throw in a.
God. Yeah.
A wedding veil, dear Lord.
The wedding veil. Perfect.
I would.
So
Brand
Jackie,
did do
how
that.
Yeah.
Did do that to us. I just want to point out he threw in whatever that one was. What was it, Lynn? The wedding.
The wedding
It was the wedding march.
The wedding
That was
march
the
one.
wedding march. Yeah.
And then he vetoed himself.
Did.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he did. He talked himself out of that one.
Because we were like, whatever.
It's Brand's gameplay, which I absolutely love, but it's through his appearances on the panels over this past year that have led me to do an entire sheet of veto rules and regulations. I think I've covered it all now. So when he comes back, I don't think there can be like this other thing that I haven't thought of yet, but who knows? Because he's very creative, very strategic. So Jackie, how are you
He was
holding up
just
over there?
winging
You're
it.
kind of holding
I'm
your head.
holding up. I'm a few little surprises here. But my favorite though was Sarah's face the minute Jen said I do, because I'm like, oh no, Sarah's gonna use another veto. Jen just sucked it out of her.
Jen
Said it
did.
before.
Jen,
Just fueled by rage.
Jen drew it out. All right. I have
Mhm.
Jen's third selection for this tricky number 7 slot. It's a movie from 2021. It is the 27-hour day. It's Andrew Walker. Autumn is Lauren. Autumn plays Lauren as a workaholic, and she's forced to take time to slow down. Andrew plays Jack, whose family owns this relaxation retreat business thing in Montana. But I think he really wants to be a veterinarian. So, and I think he's also trying to save the family business, something along those lines. Anyway, Jen, why do you like the 27-hour day as your third attempt at number 7? So maybe you don't like it at number 7. I don't know.
No, it was number 9 on mine originally. I actually liked it better the second. It was one of those ones where I liked it better the second time I watched it for some reason. I also did not remember the fish being in it, and I was like, "Oh, it's the fish!" Like I did not recall her being the sister in that. So that was enjoyable too. I liked their chemistry. Again, like there were other ones I hated more, and that's how it ended up on at 9 on my list. I just it just ended up like, and I'm like, if I keep using all of my upper ones, that like at 7, it's going to be an issue. So that's what I went with.
Well, the good news is Sarah doesn't have any vetoes, so I'm gonna skip over you for a second, Sarah. I still want to get your thoughts, but I want to go to Erin because Erin has a veto here. Erin, are you going to let the 27-hour day slide at number 7, or do you think you might want to veto it?
Nope, I am gonna let it slide. Basically everything Jen said, it's like my notes, word for word. I was really excited to see the fish, and also Norman from Signed, Sealed, Delivered. That was fun. I liked this one also the second time through as well. And of course, I mean, it's Andrew Walker. How can we go wrong? So, and I did really think the second time Autumn had some good chemistry with Andrew. And I also realized, I just think Autumn, when she's more loose and free and not quite buttoned up in the lawyer suit, she's just more enjoyable to watch. And we had that in this movie. So I'm perfectly fine with it. Finally, something going through at number 7.
Always something going through it. Yes, Jen's exhausted, I'm sure. So we have the 27-hour day locked in at number 7. Erin, you can go ahead and send me your pick for number 6. And while she's doing that, okay, Sarah, here's your opportunity. How do you feel about the 27-hour day? Even though you can't do anything about it, it's in. She likes it.
It's great. I had it at number 9, but yeah, I'm fine with it just being on the number 10 list, and that's fine. I don't hate it.
Way to go. Way to go.
Same.
Erin, Beth, what do you think of the 27-hour day?
It's okay. It's not, it's on my list. I think that Andrew does a really good job. And I actually agree with the second watch, the Autumn and Andrew's chemistry seemed a little bit better to me. And maybe it's because her chemistry was better with him than it was maybe with some of her other co-stars in all of the movies I was watching. And I love it when she's quirky. It's that same thing. When she gets to be quirky and weird and have embarrassing things happen to her, she plays that kind of slapstick comedy. It's a toned down slapstick, but she plays that really well. And I think it's one of the reasons I really like Autumn is because she's a cute, quirky little character when they let her be a cute, quirky little character.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. All right. I have Erin's selection for number 6. It's a movie from 2022. And Paolo Bernardini plays Paolo. Paolo. That's right. It's The Wedding Veil Unveiled. Oh, look at the reactions. Like holding her head. Oh my gosh. So Emma, that's Autumn Reeser, travels to Italy to teach art history at a university and to research a wedding veil said to bring its owner love. And while there, she meets Paolo, the son of a local lace-making family who has a connection to the wedding veil that Emma and her friends, Avery and Tracy, bought together in an antique store in San Francisco. While Paolo and his family can tell Emma about how their lace was used to make this old veil, they don't know anything about its journey since then, nor how it ended up in San Francisco. As Paolo joins Emma in her search for veil answers, they start to fall in love, but Emma is gun-shy about getting into another long-distance relationship since her other one didn't work out. Erin, why do you like The Wedding Veil Unveiled for number 6?
So really Autumn doesn't have any other like travel movies. This is her only one where she's actually like kind of on location. Italy was gorgeous. It was kind of fun just to see the scenery. Obviously she has been in 6 of these movies. Only 2 of them are eligible for the draft, which makes sense. So they do make up a good portion of, a small percentage of her movies. So they need to be represented somewhere. And I feel out of the 3 of the wedding veils of the 3 women, I think Emma's character is the most heartwarming. I think she's just, I like her character the best. And I do think that she and Paolo did have a very slow burn with the chemistry, but it was there. I hated all the veil talk. I'm not going to sit here and say I liked the movie that like it was great. I did. I mean, let's be honest, right? Like they were the veil movies, but I think they should be represented somewhere. Let's try to see if number 6 works.
I think you make some really good points there. Also, she has like really cute clothes in this. She's got a hat that just won't quit. The Italian scenery is really good. My degree is actually in art history, so I don't want to score her based on what comes out of her mouth in this script. But yeah, why not? It was filmed on location, so there was a lot to like. Or maybe there isn't. Jen, what do you think of The Wedding Veil Unveiled at number 6? You were first up in the veto order because Aaron played the title and Sarah doesn't have a veto at this time.
My notes just say nope, not even Paulo can save this. That's what my notes say. That's what my notes say. It's number 14, like on my list. I cannot. It's another one I didn't watch more than once. I watched it a second time before the new ones last year, so I had already seen it twice. It was like, I'm not subjecting myself to a third time. I cannot say it's her 6th best movie. Like I can't do that. So I'm gonna veto it.
Of course, it's not her 6th best movie. It's number like 13 on my list. I just wanted to use a pull out a veto. Thanks, Jen.
Well,
be honest about it.
Just to remind everybody, it could be played again higher up on the list. It just comes out of number 6. So I'm going to cross it off the list. Jen has used her 2nd veto. So now Jen just has veto overrides to use. And Aaron, you will send me a replacement pick for your number 6, which I already have. Wow, she wasn't kidding. She was already ready with a second choice while I was still talking. So Aaron has chosen a movie from 2019. It's Christmas Under the Stars. Jesse Metcalfe is in this as Nick. Autumn is Julie. And it's storyline goes basically right before Christmas. Nick is an investment banker. He's fired at the firm that he works for. Clem is an owner of the StarTalk Christmas tree lot. And without knowing that Nick just lost his job, he offers Nick a part-time job there on the lot, which Nick accepts. And all of the customers seem to be having a really rough year in this movie. And that includes Clem himself and then and his wife. And then Julie Gibbons, that's Autumn, is a 7th grade science teacher and a single adoptive mom to Matt. She stops in and Nick and Julie start to fall in love with one another through a series of encounters, but their road to a happy ending might hit a sharp bump because Nick has a connection to Julie's financial problems. So, Aaron, why do you like this movie at number 6, Christmas Under the Stars?
I actually really did like this movie. I really enjoyed Jesse Metcalfe and Autumn together. I also appreciated the storyline of Autumn being a single adopted mother. That's not something that you normally see on Hallmark. So that kind of twist was really fresh and nice to see. The relationship between Clem and Autumn's character was sweet and endearing. And I really appreciated how Jesse became, he really was able to be really good with Matt, the boy, the kid, and also just kind of changed over time. I didn't appreciate or like the storyline about the finances. She should have been leveraging him for help and not being angry at him. But this is Hallmark. We have to have some sort of disagreement. Otherwise we wouldn't have a Hallmark movie. But for all those reasons, I do feel like this should be on the list, and number 6 is a good spot.
Well, the good news is it is number 6 on the list because you're the only person left with a veto and you played the title. So Sarah and Jen just have to accept it for what it is. But I still want to hear from them. Sarah, what do you think of this movie at number 6? I haven't been able to talk to you for a couple of days now.
I have one note here that says Jesse Metcalfe is trying so hard to emote. And that was basically how I felt about it. It was like, oh, come on, buddy, make a feeling. You got this. And he just couldn't quite get there. In my opinion, Clem was the best part of this movie. The Christmas tree guy, I wanted a movie about him. I did not care about Jesse Metcalf or Autumn Reeser or the kid or anything. Clem rocked. So I don't mind, not that I have a say in it. I don't mind it being on the list simply because of Clem. Like, he was amazing.
Exactly. All right. So you go ahead and send me well, actually, do you guys want to take a break before I ask Jen for her feelings? Do you guys need a break before we go to number 5, or are we good to go? Y'all good? Okay.
I'm fine.
So we'll keep going. So Sarah, you go ahead and send me your pick for number 5. And Jen, what do you think about Christmas Under the Stars, just overall and in the number 6 position? Sorry, Jen.
I had it slightly lower, but I'm fine with it. Like, it was 8, I think, on mine. I again love Clark Peters, the Clem storyline. I think it's great. I like the whole adoption thing. The fact that, like, he just happened to work for the company that had her account and she got mad at him was kind of silly. As a teacher, I also really hated this teaching storyline. Like, I'm sorry, a parent is not showing up at your house with makeup work during Christmas break. 1. You're not going to their house to, like, randomly show up. Like, that's just not happening. And also, like, she's using the parent for, like, to, like, get things done, which was also weird. Like, that whole teaching storyline as a teacher really bothered me. Like, really bothered me. But yeah, I'm fine with it, like, where it is.
Just out of curiosity, has any parent shown up on your doorstep, even on non-holiday days?
I don't live in the town that I work in for a reason. I live 35 minutes away. Nobody's showing up at my house.
Nobody's showing up at your house. Good.
But
Good
no, I mean, there are people I work with that like live in the same. A lot of people I work with live in the same town that I work in, and like trick or treating, things like that. Like, you'll have kids show up, but not just random parents showing up. No, they don't have my address. They don't even have my phone number.
And
Like,
for a good reason.
Boundaries,
Okay,
people. Boundaries.
I have Sarah's pick for number 5. It's a movie that stars Kevin Smith as Hank. Autumn is Maggie. It's Love on the Menu from 2019. And this movie was actually co-written by Kevin Smith as well. So when it's a food movie, Erin. When Chef Hank makes a deal with frozen food executive Maggie to save his restaurant, their unexpected attraction complicates matters, leaving Maggie conflicted. Does she choose her allegiance to her cutthroat boss, or does she partner both in work and in love with Hank? Sarah, why do you like Love on the Menu at number 5?
Well, I think, she's got to have at least one cooking movie on the list. She's done a lot of them. And I mean, this one, it's got the restaurant. My dad owned a restaurant, and I think it was a really good movie. It was a really good example of what she can do.
Hey, good example of what she can do. Erin, you're the only one left with veto. Is this going to stay at number 5? Love on the Menu. Hashtag bang the
ban the cooking movies. Yeah, it'll stay at number 5. I'm not happy about it, but I don't want to use my veto quite yet. And it's Kevin Smith. And when I was watching this movie with my mom, and she looked up and she's like, "Oh, it's Lee from When Calls the Heart," just like Rosemary does in When Calls the Heart. So that was super sweet. So yeah, I'll let it ride. I don't love it, but it's okay. It's fine. Like we say, it's fine.
It's fine. Okay, Love on the Menu is locked in at number 5 because only Erin has a veto left in this game. Jen has 2 veto overrides that she can use only if Erin, plays a veto though. So Erin, go ahead and send me your pick for number 4. And while she's doing that, Jen, I couldn't read the expression on your face when Love on the Menu is played. How do you feel about this movie at number 5?
I love this movie. I do. It was higher up on mine. Minus the fact that he's a dummy dumb about the finances in his own restaurant. because that part was like really, really. But I loved that it was a little more of a realistic like relationship arc or timeline than a lot of the Hallmark movies we get, where they meet in a weekend and then they're all of a sudden like, you know, moving, changing their lives for each other. Whereas this was, they were working together. She was getting to his daughter. It was like over the span of time. So I bought their relationship more than I feel like some of the other Hallmark movies. So I really like this movie.
I hate this movie.
Did you?
I tried to get a veto out of Aaron.
I knew it by by her response, like how Sarah said, like, oh, it's like whatever you one liner. I was like, she's totally trying to get Aaron to veto it, and that's why I was sitting here trying to be like super neutral faced. That's hilarious.
Guys, I already have Aaron's pick for number 4, knowing that neither Jen nor Sarah have any more control over what Aaron plays. And
Well, I'm
so,
sure I know what it is.
what do you think it is?
Well, she did say the only cooking movie she liked was Always Amore, so I'm assuming that's coming back at some point, but we'll see.
You might wish it was, but it's not. Aaron has chosen a movie from 2023.
Oh God. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
Aaron, are you okay? I mean, I just want to check. Like, blink twice if someone's holding you captive.
You know the goal is to get your movies in?
Yep,
Just wanna make sure. Okay.
that's what I'm working towards.
Like,
Aaron has chosen a movie from 2023. It is Palo Palo again, starring with Autumn Reeser, but this time it is the Wedding Veil Inspiration. So this is the second one. This was the series 2 one. So Emma's life plan is thrown off course when Paolo must return to Italy to take care of. So sorry, these are all spoiler alerts if you hadn't seen The Wedding Veil Unveiled. Sorry. Emma's life plan is thrown off course when Paolo must return to Italy to take care of his father, and she discovers a new passion for making art accessible to all. This one was directed by Terry Ingram. Aaron, stand your ground. You have nothing to fear because no one has any power.
Okay.
Just tell us why you chose this movie at number 4. Why
yes,
do you
please
love
do.
it?
Okay. This is not a joke. I was pleasantly shocked when I watched this movie again. I could not believe how much I really thought Autumn and Paolo had some very adult conversations at the beginning when I was talking about their kids, where they were going to live. Paolo at one point said he was tired of having other people make his life decisions for him when he was referring to Autumn's boss, and I like that really resonated with me. Again, I don't like the friendship in this movie with the 3 girls. I don't care about the Veil storyline, but from a relationship movie of Autumn and Paolo, I thought it was fantastic. I also really appreciated the storyline of Lily and Mateo. They brought some fun, like just fun to the movie, and I knew I was going to be on an uphill battle here, but when we got the vetoes out, I knew I could take my play. I really enjoyed it. I'm probably one of the only double deckers who liked it. I don't like the other ones. I'm so sorry, but not
I mean,
sorry.
So
Yeah.
much lace. There's just so much
So much lace.
Is
I
it
know.
a shop or is it a museum? What's happening with it? And also, it's so boring.
I wasn't bored. Like, this was one of the movies where I was really into. I thought the way that her boss broke her down was absolutely abysmal and horrible, but I also was like, as a, someone who's professional, like, you have those people who are horrible to you and you have to figure it out. I just really, and also she had some good comedic timing in there when it came to like the spiders and how she was worried about that. And I just felt like we got to see the fun, quirky kind of Autumn come out in bits and pieces, and I enjoyed that. I know your faces are all just
I wish I might have to take a screenshot of the expressions.
Would you like to know what my notes say? Because I want to remind
Yes.
you what it said for the other one. It said, nope, not even Paulo can save these. And then I wrote for this one, also nope. That's what I wrote.
It doesn't
It's
make a
number
top 10
15.
list for me.
It's
Yeah.
number 15 on my list.
it
It's
was
like literally
number
dead last.
I
Number
really
14.
had it at number 2.
You know what, Aaron? Be proud. You and Elizabeth, peas in a pod.
Yep.
We'll have your own private viewing party.
Nobody is more shocked than myself, let me tell you.
Is it you who's writing into Hallmark demanding for like a third series
dear
on
God.
the
Oh,
wedding veil?
no, dear, no, of course not.
Okay.
Nobody needs that.
Nobody needs that.
Nobody needs a third
No.
round of this.
Oh
Good
my
Lord, no.
goodness.
Paulo also can't save those.
Paolo can't say
No.
those.
Milo
No.
Pop.
Well, there it is.
Paula was
Wedding
barely
veil.
in this one, so there was no way he could save it.
That's
Yeah.
true.
True. So the Wedding Veil Inspiration, that's the one that just aired in 2023, is locked in at number 4. While Jen is going to send me her pick for number 3, let me do a state of the list recap. So far at 10, we have A Bramble House Christmas. At 9, we have Valentine Ever After. That was after Always Amore was vetoed. At 8, A Glenbrook Christmas. At 7, it was the Jen show. She started with Midnight Masquerade. That got vetoed. Then she played I Do, and that got vetoed. And then we ended up with the 27-hour day. At 6, we have Christmas Under the Stars. At 5 is Love on the Menu, played by Sarah. And at 4, we just locked in the Wedding Veil Inspiration. And we are now going to the top 3 movies for Autumn Reeser, as drafted by this panel. And number 3, being offered up by Jen, is a movie from, let me see, a movie from 2018. Autumn Reeser plays Tyler. Mark Blucas is Corey. It's A Season for Love. After her divorce, Tyler returns to Red Rock to spend the summer with her daughter and her mom. She helps her mom in the restaurant, and her daughter and mom convince her to sign up for the yearly barbecue cook-off, in which her old high school sweetheart Corey also competes. Old feelings start to resurface as they spend time together, but she convinces herself that she has no time for distraction with a barbecue competition to win. Damn it. Jen, why do you like this movie at number 3?
So I like Mark Lucas. I think he's a fun one. I wish he would do some more. I also like when I have a tendency to like movies when they, I think I mentioned with the other one, when they have time. And so oftentimes like old relationship movies work better for me because they already know each other versus ones where they get to know each other over like the course of a weekend. So that's kind of like, I think the 2 reasons why I liked this one. I think it's only the second time I've watched it too, which is interesting because it was one of the first ones that the guys did, right? Like they did it during their like pre like season thing, and I don't think I've watched it since.
Yeah.
So it was one of the ones I watched for the second time.
I think you're right. I actually had seen this one. I had seen this one before, and I too like Mark Blucas. I think he's really great. I wish he was in more current Hallmark movies.
Great.
Erin, you're the only one with a veto left. What do you think of Season for Love at number 3?
I think it's high, but this was out of the cooking movies, the one that I wanted to see on the list, so I'm going to let it ride. I did also enjoy Mark Lucas. My notes actually say, why can't we have more of him? I enjoyed the storyline was fun. I thought, the barbecue was fun. I also kind of enjoyed the mom and her had a good relationship. Overall, and the cooking montage in this one actually was fun to watch. So a little high for me, but I'm not gonna veto it.
All right, so Season for Love is locked in at number 3. Sarah, what do you think of Season for Love? I'd love to get your thoughts.
I had it at number 7. I liked it enough. The big question I had was, how the heck did the smoker burn down? Like, I do not understand. I do not know. Like, how is the smoker broken? What happened? And that was a big, since that was the giant conflict of the movie, I was just like, I don't do better movie explaining that. But yeah, Mark Lucas is great, and they were fun together. So
Mechanical failure.
Did that question make your trivia? What was the name of the smoker?
I don't know. They had I
So
have
bad. Yeah,
like
it's
20
really good.
questions.
It
I
was
picked
on the
like
list.
4 of them. Yeah, it's crazy. So that was actually Jen's last
They almost broke
pick
up over
for the draft. So thank you, Jen. Well, Erin sends me her final pick, which is for the number 2 slot. Jackie, what do you think of Season for Love?
I enjoyed that movie very much. I too, like Mark, I really grew to appreciate him in the TV series Necessary Roughness. It was so good.
It was a good show.
Yeah, it's
It
a
was
good
a
show.
really good show. In this, same as Jen, I liked there was a lot of dialogue, there was adult conversation. Even when the ex-husband comes back, it wasn't creepy Hallmark ex-boyfriend coming back. And when his agent shows up, there wasn't like a big misunderstanding. It was all like nipped in the bud. And I just, it felt like an adult movie. Yeah, there were some weird things here and there. I also thought, having watched a lot of cooking competition shows, that the barbecue cooking competition looked very, very real. So
They did a good job. Erin Beth, did you like Season for Love?
Yeah, this one was really hard for me. It ended up being my number 11, but because it was another one of those that just kept popping up to my list. I had a really hard time taking it off. I mean, I go clear back to the Buffy days of Mark Blucas, and I adore him. It was a cute movie. It really was. Like
It was a cute movie. And the
Yeah.
Buffy days were good days. Buffy days were good days.
I met him last year at Christmas Con. It was
Aw.
super nice. On like the Friday night, because there was
Did
like
you?
no line.
Aw.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Did you get a picture?
Oh,
Cool.
Did.
Cool. All right. So that brings us to number 2. This is Erin's final pick for the draft. She has chosen a movie from 2015. Autumn plays Sarah. Jesse Metcalf is Bradley. It's a country wedding. Bradley is a famous country singer getting ready to marry Catherine, a glamorous Hollywood actress. He returns to the small town he grew up in for a break. When he crosses paths with Sarah, his childhood sweetheart and next door neighbor, he finally feels inspired to write songs again. And boy, does he. So this puts him on a path to reevaluate his life, his values, and his opinion of true love. As his wedding day with Catherine approaches, he must decide if he's chosen the right woman to be his wife. Erin, why do you like A Country Wedding at number 2?
So A Country Wedding is probably my all-time favorite Hallmark movie. So I really want it to be at number 1. But knowing some of the items that Sarah has already vetoed, I figured I probably should get this in at number 2, because I don't know for sure that she'll play it at number 1. I don't know how her feelings are. I also realized that Jen, Sarah, and I have very differences of opinions on movies, so I needed to kind of lock this in. But all that being said, I adore this movie. I think Autumn is a lot of fun. Again, she's not this buttoned up person. I keep saying that, but I liked her approach to being on the farm. I loved how she was really able to show her acting capabilities in this movie. She was angry, she was crying, she was happy. There was a whole range of emotions that she really got to showcase and we got to see. The music from Jesse was good. I enjoyed that. He was just his normal self, but that's fine. And I just really loved how, I guess, the ever romantic in me thinks, like, how great is it for someone to know like your favorite ice cream, your favorite flower, and know all of that about you, right? And so that the ending of that movie just really warms my heart every time. So there we go.
Those are all fabulous reasons. It is going to stay at number 2, A Country Wedding, because no one has any vetoes. But I do want to hear what I love this movie, full disclosure. It is one of my all-time favorite Hallmark movies. Jesse Metcalf is Jesse Metcalf, so it is what it is. But the storyline and some of the quotes, it's just, I love it. And I've seen it so many times, but I still can't figure out if Catherine's hair is natural, if it's a bad weave, like what, there's ropage. It's
horrible.
It's horrible. It's like,
So bad.
it's like Frozen's hair. It's like the princess in Frozen's hair, but done really
Yeah.
bad.
Yep.
Yeah, it's really, really bad. And there's a great the woman who plays her manager is hilarious. She's on NCIS and
Lauren Holly.
Lauren,
Oh,
thank you
yeah.
so much.
I'm
Lauren.
rewatching her in Picket Fences right now.
Oh,
Lauren Holly is great. The wedding cake, that just the whole thing. Sarah, do you what do you think of a country wedding?
This one was actually at my number 5. I think Jesse Metcalfe does the best in this movie. I like him better in this movie than in Christmas Under the Stars. Some of the notes I made, my mom said Hallmark knows how to get rid of parents. They know how to make an orphan. Which seems to be true. And the other side was, so I also said it was sincere, heartfelt. It still makes me kind of uncomfortable because Jesse Metcalfe is too pretty. Like, he just makes me uncomfortable. I don't like it. But of his movies, it's the one I like the most.
Absolutely, absolutely. Jen, do you like a country wedding?
It was my number 1.
Yeah.
There was the one that I was curious to see because it's been one of my favorite Hallmark movies for literally forever. I've seen it so many times, and that last scene when he opens the barn door gets me every single time. I have definitely teared up watching it. I didn't this last time, but I definitely have. I can quote it because I've seen it so many times. Yes, there are issues in terms of like he's definitely cheating on his fiance, like emotionally and like when they kiss in the bar, like, and the pastor friend that's like looking on like, what the heck? But I just really love that movie, and it still stood up. Like, I was worried because like after I met him, I was like, oh, it's gonna skew because he was not like likable. At all.
Surprise
Like,
guest! Here comes Jesse Metcalfe. No, I'm kidding.
I couldn't
At
get
the
Brendan
first-
Penny on the line,
yeah,
but we got
Brendan
Jesse.
Penny. No, at the first Christmas con, we had taken a picture, Erin and I, with him, and he just like the girlfriend was like stalking in the background at the one he had at the time, and it was just like, and I was afraid it was gonna ruin it for me, so I took a break from watching it for a while because I was like, oh no, but no, I still love it. It's just I don't know what it is about that movie, but I adore it. So
That was
yeah,
producer Aaron, Deck the Hallmark podcast, producer Aaron.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. So I have
Oh.
a picture of her and I with Jesse Metcalfe if anybody would like me to.
Yeah, I want to see it.
I'll send it in the chat.
Send it in the chat. I think that's great. So you guys, this brings us to number 1, which is Sarah's pick. Sarah, you can go ahead and DM it to me. This is where we are. At number 10, we have A Bramble House Christmas. At 9 is Valentine Ever After. At 8, A Glenbrook Christmas. At 7, the epic number 7 slot, The 27-Hour Day. At 6, Christmas Under the Stars, another Jesse Metcalfe movie. At 5, Love on the Menu. At 4, The Wedding Veil, Inspiration. At 3, Season for Love. At 2, A Country Wedding. And at number 1, Sarah has chosen a movie. I do. The time loop movie from 2015 with Antonio Cupo is the Baxter, Sean Roberts is his brother, Ali Liebert is the sister. This is where Autumn is stuck in this time loop, reliving her wedding day over and over and over again until she can figure out what she really wants. Sarah, why do you love this movie at number 1?
I think this was actually the first movie I'd ever seen with her in it. And it was completely bonkers new. There was so much to like, the mother's, interference was wild, but I loved Ali Liebert. It was Ron Oliver that directed it. I enjoyed the fact that Antonio Cupo and her had made 3 movies together. And in this one, they had like 0 chemistry. And in some of the other ones, I felt like they had better chemistry. And I just really appreciated that. And yeah, it like you guys are talking about A Country Wedding. Like, this one is the one I've watched repeatedly just because, I thought the chemistry between the 2 leads was fantastic.
That's great. And only Only Aaron can crush your dreams at this point in time. Aaron has all the power. You are the only one left with a veto. Aaron, what say you to I Do, I Do, I Do at number 1?
So I do not like this movie. It is number 11 on my list. I think that it didn't handle mental health well. It didn't age well. I have a lot of wait whats because of, like, again, I think Jen mentioned, like, this guy, the brother, they end up falling in love, but he has no idea what has happened over the past 5 months or something. One of my notes says, sorry, I mean, I really wanted to find it. I was like 5 months in and no talk about wanting kids. No reason I can't keep a boyfriend. That topic comes up on my first dates. So I say all of that to say I'm not going to veto this because I'm afraid if I do that Sarah's going to come back with a the Masquerade movie, and that was my number 15, and I can't I hate that movie. So just in order to make sure that that one doesn't make it, I will let I Do land at number 1.
Well, there you have it. I Do, I Do, I Do is at number 1. You guys, you did a fantastic job. Thank you so much. I cannot wait to hear your reactions to the final list. But before we get to that, Erin, Beth, and Jackie and I have that little side hustle that I had mentioned where we don't win anything, but we just get bragging rights. So Jackie, why don't you go ahead and tell us what your top 10s were in the ranked order, starting with number 10. Just the titles.
Yep. Love on the Menu, The Wedding Veil Unveiled, Christmas Under the Stars, Midnight Masquerade, Season for Love, A Bramble House Christmas, I Do, I Do, I Do, Valentine Ever After, A Country Wedding, and Love at the Thanksgiving Day Parade.
It's going to be shocking to people. If you were on Instagram, you've probably seen some of the comments. It's going to be shocking that Love on the at the Thanksgiving Day Parade did not make this list, but we can talk about that in a second. Erin, Beth, what were your top 10?
All right, my 10 is The 27-Hour Day, 9, Always Amore, 8, All Summer Long, 7, A Bramble House Christmas, 6, Love on the Menu, 5, A Glenbrook Christmas, 4, Midnight Masquerade, 3, A Country Wedding, 2, I Do, I Do, I Do, and 1. I'm so sad, like almost in tears, sad. Love at the Thanksgiving Day Parade. Like I watched this movie like Jen watches a country wedding. Like I'm not kidding. I have seen that movie so many times. I can quote it. I can
We will talk about it in just a second. So here's my list. At 10, I have The Wedding Veil Unveiled, just because I think a wedding veil movie needs to be on this list, even though I didn't love them.
Does
at
it?
9, The 27-Hour Day. At 8, Season for Love. At 7, Midnight Masquerade. At 6, A Glenbrook Christmas. At 5, All Summer Long. At 4, Love at the Thanksgiving Day Parade. At 3, A Country Wedding. At 2, Valentine Ever After. And at number 1, I Do, I Do, I Do. So I'll figure out how many I got. You guys can count up how many you got. And in the meantime, guys, before we do the list for the final time, did anyone have, what's on your personal list? Jen, why don't you tell me what your personal top 10 were ranked? I want to see if Love on at the Thanksgiving Day Parade was even on it.
Oh, it's on there. It's on there at number 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else?
I wrote, I love their chemistry, but holy shit, them getting engaged almost ruined the movie for me. Why is he proposing to her at the end of that movie? If that was left out, it would have been much higher. I don't understand. It's unnecessary. It doesn't need to happen. But I think it's their best movie together. Like, I think she's super quirky. I love her like vintage like vibe thing she has going on. I enjoy it, but that part is what keeps it lower on my list than it would have been otherwise. Because I just don't think that them getting engaged was remotely necessary.
Yeah, at the very end. I love
Yeah.
I love her vintage clothing. I love the music throughout.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got like this very boppy mid, 50s, 60s kind of a 60s kind of a vibe. What else was on your list, Jen? Just
So
10
I
to,
had
to number one.
So it was 10 was Bramble House Christmas, 9 was 27-Hour Day, 8 was Christmas Under the Stars, 7 was Midnight Masquerade, 6 was I Do, I Do, I Do, 5 was Love at the Thanksgiving Day Parade. I had Valentine Ever After at 4, Season for Love at 3, Love on the Menu at 2, and Country Wedding at 1.
Great list. Erin, what was your top 10 ranked?
Always Amore, number 10, Valentine Ever After, Season for Love, A Bramble House Christmas, the 27-Hour Day. A Glenbrook Christmas was 5, Christmas Under the Stars, Love at the Thanksgiving Day Parade was actually number 3, The Wedding Veil Inspiration 2, and then a Country Wedding.
Okay, so you had Love at the Thanksgiving Day Parade on your list too. Jen had it on hers. Sarah, what was your top 10 list?
Number 10 was Valentine Ever After. 9 was the 27-Hour Day. Then a Glenbrook Christmas, A Season for Love, Always Amore. 5 was A Country Wedding. 4 was A Bramble House Christmas. 3 was Midnight Masquerade. 2 was Love at the Thanksgiving Day Parade. And 1 was I Do, I Do, I Do. Yeah, if you had vetoed me, Erin, I would have put in the Love at the Thanksgiving Day
No,
Parade.
don't tell us that, Sarah.
Yeah.
I would have
It
been
was
okay
either
with
one or
that.
two.
I was so scared of the Midnight Masquerade, I couldn't do it. Yeah,
It's
Could have
crazy.
also, I could have overrode that veto.
that's true.
True.
Would you
And
have?
we could have kept, well, if she, yeah, and then we could have kept I Do.
Yeah. This is only the second time that a title that has been on everyone's list never even got played, as far as being highly ranked
Yeah.
and being really popular. That's wild. But you guys, this is still a great list. You've done a wonderful job. I'm going to read it again. So this is the singular definitive list of the 10 best Hallmark movies starring Autumn Reeser, as drafted by Jen, Sarah, and Stephanie. Here we go. At number 10, A Bramble House Christmas. At 9, Valentine Ever After. At 8, A Glenbrook Christmas. At 7, The 27-Hour Day. At 6, Christmas Under the Stars. At 5, Love on the Menu. At 4, The Wedding Veil Inspiration. At 3, Season for Love. At 2, A Country Wedding. And at number 1, it's I Do, I Do, I Do. Great job, everybody. Everyone still looks shocked. Oh my gosh, you did a wonderful job. You did a wonderful job. You know, it's more than fine. I will post this list with pride. It's okay. Now it's time for us to say bye. So thanks again for everything. Everybody say bye.
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 I love Thanksgiving parade. Oh my gosh. Hallmark Movie Drafts is produced by me, Lynn Austin, with additional creative and research support from Erin Beth Cermak and Catherine Baca. This show would not be possible without the dedicated and talented Deck the Hallmark podcast double-deckers who share their passionate opinions on these Hallmark movies that we love, or maybe not love, so much. Intro and outro music is courtesy of Amada Zapana. If you love this pod, please leave a 5-star review. It helps other Hallmark movie fans to find us and join in on the shenanigans. Be sure to follow the show at Hallmark Movie Drafts on Instagram.